Welcome to Unprecedented Destination Success, the podcast that uncovers the secrets to building unprecedented and unstoppable success with your World Ventures business so you can live the life of your dreams unapologetically. Never miss an episode. Subscribe at unprecedentedtv.com or just click the link in the description below. I'm your host, Davide Di Giorgio, and I'm on a mission to bring you the everyday extraordinary people who've risen to the top. And I'm asking them to share their best expert tips, experiences, and road-tested secrets that have allowed them to create unprecedented success so that you can do it too. My guests today are Del and Arleen Hughes. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Pleasure to be here. So, well, honored that you actually invited us.
Absolutely. So tell me, first question I ask everybody, what are you all celebrating today?
Well,
My birthday. I reached 51 here on the 18th, and we definitely needed to go and celebrate that in a big way, dream trip style.
Oh, are you actually are you doing a dream trip?
We just got back from one, and I'd like to think that World Ventures set it up just for me because it fell the day after my birthday. I mean, Wayne, he called me. He said, "Hey, Del, we got you the mega rock star trip in Cancun." We were a part of that. Of course, I'm just kidding, but it did fall perfectly. And, we need to celebrate something all the time so we can stay motivated, keep going, stay in the fight.
Heck yes. Well, happy birthday to you. I love celebrating people's birthdays. So maybe after the show, I'm going to send you a little, my special way that I like to celebrate people's birthdays. So stay tuned for that. All right. So let's dive in. A couple of rapid fire style questions here. Where do you live?
Stone Mountain, Georgia.
All right. And
Just a suburb just outside of Atlanta.
right. When did you get started with World Ventures?
3 years ago, almost to the date. In fact, it's been 37 months exactly.
Wow, 37 months. Okay. And what is your current rank?
We're marketing directors.
And senior rep, close to director.
Yes.
Okay, nice. Love it. And the current size of your team?
We've got just over 500 people. And I think we have enrolled a total of, not just personals, but I think we're at just under 1,000 total enrollments in that time.
Wow. Well done. Well done. Okay. And yeah. And before World Ventures, did you have previous network marketing experience or what were you doing before?
Well, I can answer this one. We have absolutely no network marketing skills. We've never done anything like this before. Didn't know anything about it. We never tuned into EC. We were local business owners. Our main business is Atlanta Boom Volleyball. We teach kids how to play volleyball, and our goal is to get them scholarships by the time they're scholarship age, and that kept us pretty busy.
I love that. You may not know this. I was head of a high school music department for nearly 10 years. And so kids are in my wheelhouse. I love supporting young people. And part of the giving project that I have going on is to support performing arts students with dream projects. So this dream trips just fits perfectly. So tell me, what did Del and Arleen believe?
I think that's one of those questions that's, it can be really deep. And you want to come across in such a way that you get things started in a good way. But first, we're Christians, absolutely.
Yep.
And we wholeheartedly believe in the Bible. We never really say to anyone, I think all of us got our grown man and grown woman certificate in the mail a long time ago. And we kind of believe everybody is allowed to believe whatever they like. We believe that all of us are stronger together. That's a mantra of mine, absolutely. I like to stand shoulder to shoulder. I'm big in encouraging people who are around me at all times. It doesn't matter if they're within my network or if they're perfect strangers. A smile is worth so much medicine, and certainly do believe that. Anything you'd like to add, Sweetheart?
And just caring. We've always found ourselves doing things where we're doing things and helping other people, and we just feel like everyone's strong for a little while so they can help others. So we're always finding ourselves giving back, and that's important to us.
I love that. And so tagged on to that, what do you love?
No doubt about that. We love having fun. Even though I'm more of a red yellow personality, I really enjoy watching others. I mean, you will not catch me dancing. There's some rare footage out there, and my wife might talk about that when we were in Dubai. But I've done everything I can to eliminate all of that footage. But I enjoy watching others have fun. It really gets, and one of the things I love is helping other people get better. I mean, with our own business, Atlanta Boom Volleyball Institute, that was my thing. You know, some people, they love money. Others love cars, houses, stuff. They love women. My thing was I loved to see you get better. And taking you from here to here was my goal. And I was able to impart that into, hundreds of girls' lives, helping them achieve and get scholarships to college. And some of them have even gone professional. And that just, it warms my heart. It does. I stay driven. And that's the last thing that I love. I love to stay on the line and let's get there. I need to check off landmark milestone moments in our life. And the only way to do that is keep driving.
Beautiful. And Arleen?
That's true. Well, you know, just to piggyback on that, I love the fact that you can see what you do actually come to light. When we see a kid get that scholarship, when she invites us to come to her signing personally, to be there for her, when she says, please autograph my volleyball because I want to keep it for life. I just like seeing them do that. We officiate collegiately in volleyball, so we often see our kids right there on the volleyball court, all grown and in college. So that's a cool feeling.
Beautiful. I love that. Okay. And one more rapid fire question here. What do you love about World Ventures?
Man, I love the fact that my family has had a chance to rebuild. You see, when we were working so hard, you know, we're running multiple businesses here, and we never, ever had time for ourselves to really take family vacations. Matter of fact, 20 years of marriage, we've never been on a single family vacation because we were always working. And what this has done is allowed us to go now on 31 trips in 37 months. So I love the fact that World Ventures have actually given us a chance to reconnect and kind of rejuvenate our family life.
As far as me, I love the environment. World Ventures celebrates you. And from the leadership, and I'm talking about everybody up in corporate from Wayne all the way down to everyone we interact with here locally, it puts you in an environment of success. And a lot of the world doesn't have that around them. A lot of the world, people are filled their everyday lives with people who tear them down, stab them behind their back, don't really believe in them. And that doesn't exist here. And that's special and it's rare. And it falls in lines with our own beliefs. And that's a wonderful place to be. And hadn't seen that at all. And, you know, I just turned 51 years old. And I've seen a lot. I spent 9 years in the Marine Corps, corporate America, grew up on the streets of Detroit, poor, torn down, a lot. But here, World Ventures, much like yourself, David, people who celebrate others. I mean, no one's paying you to do this. This is just coming out of your heart. And just with your background, giving to kids through performing arts, that, I mean, it shows the type of person you are. And if more people like you could all kind of be around each other, well, it would make the world a better place.
Thank you. Yeah. And honestly, that's the vision for me with World Ventures, why it was such a no-brainer. One, I've been in travel my entire life, so it's easy to talk about travel. And then I just saw it's like, well, this is just a great way to improve other people's life and have fun with people and build a group of people who want to do life together and share and build. It's just a complete no-brainer. So I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. 31 trips in 37 months. Oh my goodness. Like that is extraordinary. Okay, so let's get down to business here. Before we came on, we were talking about this. So one of the big things when people are starting out is the objections come at them. I don't have time. I don't have money. I don't have all sorts of objections. So we talked about having you let's do a little role play of your favorite objection buster.
Okay.
Okay.
Why don't you ask?
Well, see, you want me to get started, but I just don't have the time for this. There's no way I could do this.
Wow. I totally get that. With Arleen and I, we were running 4 companies. We've got a family. We've got grandkids running around with their hair on fire all the time. And we were time broke, if that's a thing. But you know what I found since I got here? No one builds the life for themselves where they don't have time. And I looked up and I was about to be 50 years old. And I didn't want to be 60 years old grinding the same way I was when I was 30, 35. And so I was looking and praying for a way to have more time so I could spend it with the people and the things that made me laugh more, made me smile more. Wouldn't you like to have that?
Yeah, but I just don't know how can I find the time, and what kind of commitment do I need here?
Why don't we start with 5 to 7 minutes a day? It sounds like nothing, but I'll show you exactly how to do it. You ready to get started?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. So good. And I love that I was talking to my team today about the money question. Are ready to get started and practicing that and having that energy. And you were just so unmessable. I love the way you painted that picture of like, nobody paints a life to have not enough time. That's not the life that you want. I was like, ooh, I want in on this. Well done. Really, really good. Okay. So let's go back 37 months, month 1. Today, if you could go back and tell those 2 people who signed up, what advice would you give yourself in month 1?
Oh, can I take this one first?
Go ahead.
Okay. So when we first started, I was really serious about it because I'd heard about this kind of thing my entire life, but I never paid any attention to it because there was so much negative stigma attached to it. But we were introduced from April Consulo. She's a former mayor outside of Nashville. She's the national marketing director and national trainer with World Ventures. She was the marketing director there. But when she started to talk about having her own nonprofit fully funded, well, I was intrigued. I introduced myself to her. And so what happened is, as I got in, I hit the ground running. And I wanted to get this done fast because everyone that I talked to and listened to said, if you want to win with this, show as many people as possible, as fast as possible. And so now we're business owners, and I began to track things, who I was showing. Okay, I showed David Thursday, August 14th. Cool. But I didn't write down David's last name. And well, I know 24 Davids. And in my phone, there are an additional 10. And it was kind of a mistake. It didn't allow me to properly track. And in my previous life in the Marine Corps, one of the things I did was purchasing and contracting. And we have to document everything. And so if I called you up, I'd say, hey, David, and whatever we spoke about, I'd write it down, this date, and this was the outcome. I should have done that. But the most important thing, I think, that I would have talked to Dell about 37 months ago was that little text that you're supposed to send out that I didn't give enough importance to. Congratulations on the growth of your team. Now, we welcomed people on Facebook, and so they were kind of aware if they checked the team pages. But most people who we were enrolling, they're professionals, and even kids don't really use Facebook too much. And when I say kids, I mean millennials. Their world is Snapchat and Instagram. But if I had simply sent out congratulations on the growth of your team to all of the people that we enrolled and all of the people that came on board with the team after they enrolled, it would have lit a fire that I think would never have been extinguished. And that was a simple thing. But we started to do it later on. And when I say later on, I mean maybe 18 months, maybe 20 months after we started really getting going, or after we were in. And I feel like I left out some of the fury that was necessary to get this ball and just break records like nobody's business. What about you?
Well, for me, I would think it's just that engaging aspect of this. It is network marketing, and we are growing our network, but we also need to be connecting with our teams and keeping them involved so that they feel like they're a part of something. So something I wish I had done is personally reach out to everyone and say, hey, welcome to the team. We're glad to have you on board. Hey, just let us know if there's anything you need to do. I just want to introduce myself to you and let you know I'm here if you need anything. And that way they would know, wow, my upline who doesn't even know me reached out and connected. And that would kind of keep them engaged a little bit longer because they feel like they're part of the team. Now, our previous, organization, our program was Atlanta Boom Volleyball, and we were big on that, just connectivity and creating chemistry and all of that. And that really keeps teams together.
That was our forte, as a matter of fact, building teams. So I really thought we were going to knock this out of the park. And we have. I mean, we're blessed. No complaints at all. There are a lot of people who would love to be in our position. Of course, it never grows as fast as we'd like it to. But maybe we got kind of caught up in building the business instead of building the people. Mm-hmm. And maybe we left some people behind in an attempt to grow fast. And that's certainly Arleen's, and it's one of her best attributes. She lives with a smile on her face. But yeah, maybe if we'd done those two things, looked back a little bit more, I'd give us that advice and just see how things would work out.
Yeah, I love that. I really resonate with that. I was talking to a friend of mine just recently, and he said, it becomes very obvious the people who are building businesses who are more into PayPal than into people. And I thought, oh, that's a great reminder. Am I focusing on PayPal? Am I focusing on the people? Because the PayPal will come and go.
Sure.
The people are what are going to keep that PayPal running, actually. And without the people, we have nothing. And really, if people trust you and love you, they'll go anywhere with you. And that's definitely something that I've learned over time for sure, too.
And with us, we had a ton of credibility. The people who knew us that signed up with us loved us. And we were focused more on building quickly, not necessarily about chasing the buck, but I wanted to get to international marketing director because I've got this dream. What I'd like to do is build these now. Atlanta Boom, it's I guess a common theme throughout our interview here, but everything we do is Boom. Our team name is Boom Nation. And so one of the things I'd love to do is create these series of clinics in third world countries that provide prenatal care to pregnant women, vaccinations to kids, minor surgeries to adults. Because everybody always focuses on the kids, but adults need help too. But I want to call them Boom clinics, and they're small clinics to individuals that don't have access to Medicare. And IMD would help us get there. But our mistake was that we thought everybody was just as driven as us. And, it's rare that you find someone who actually catches the dream right away. And so we were signing people up and we're like, okay, David, we got you. Cool. All right. This is the 8 steps that we start off with everybody that we got going. Here, we'll call us when you're ready. And instead, maybe I should have given you the 8 steps.
Right.
And schedule a great bowling event for the entire team on Friday and build that culture. Eat strategy for breakfast. Wayne says that all the time, and I believe it's one of the things that made us so successful in corporate America. Our club had a culture similar to Cuba and Brazil. It was a party all the time if you were a part of our organization, but we didn't bring that here enough.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting to be able to see where you've had success in your life before, take all of it with you and apply it. Right. And that's something that I'm definitely doing now, like I said, 7 weeks in already. So you said you had your 8 steps, and what's the number one thing that started working for you right away? What worked out well in the beginning?
When you say that, do you mean in terms of our own people or for us in particular?
Yeah, for you in particular.
Speed was the biggest thing. One of the things that we did, now we had an organization, our very first travel party. Now I joined on July 26th. We say August 1st, but technically it's July 26th. I went to my first travel party and I invited two people to that. It was at somebody else's event. We signed up both of those guys. So from there, they asked us to start our own. And so when we invited to our own event, we had 50 plus people there. I think it was 54. It might have been 57. I don't remember, but I know it was 50. We didn't sign up a whole lot of those people at all. I think we may have signed up two, something like that. And then our next travel party, and April Consulo hosted that, so it wasn't us doing it. Our next one, because I guess by that time we'd gotten some people's attention, Rob Campbell, IMD, with his wife, Kim Campbell, Rob actually did the presentation, and we had 70 plus people at that. But one of the things that I think that maybe no one knew that someone would have 50 and 70 people at their first two events. So we let a lot of people kind of get out the door before we could really get to them to answer their questions. And again, we didn't sign up very many of those people. In fact, as memory serves, I don't think we signed up anyone that second event. We may have signed up two or three, maybe down the road, maybe a week later, maybe we signed up 10. Our very first month, though, we signed up 20 people exactly. But we figured we had exposed about 200 people that first month. So, and at that time, our lifestyle plan, and at the time it was the car bonus, you had to sign up 20 people to really hit that. And so we had 19 on the last day, and I was killing myself to get number 20. But 20 people in your first month is a hell of a start. And we were just blessed. So I think speed was the thing that worked out best for us, because it allowed us to make almost $4,000 in our first 28, 29 days. And it put the big W in my pupils, in my eyeballs, because I said to myself, $4,000 in 28 days is somebody's full-time 40-hour-a-week job. And we just decided we've got to get this going.
Now, so how about on the other side, and you kind of answered some of this question in this, but get specific. What did you try that bombed in the beginning that you're like, oh, we can't do that again? That doesn't work for sure.
Well, I can speak to that, because in the beginning, you're the most excited, but so that's something that never works. But I didn't think that at the beginning. In the beginning, I thought I'll explain it all to them. I just verbally bombed on everybody, and it didn't work. So I had to kind of go back and started listening to the Quick Coach videos and actually paying attention to doing it the right way. So my speed kind of hurt me, because I kind of burnt some people, doing it the wrong way. But going back to the simple system and doing it the right way, then I started seeing success. So that's what I would definitely say on that one.
And for me, now I was on the opposite side of the table, being a coach ourselves. I was really coachable, and I listened to everybody on board. And so that's one of those things where we have husband and wife team, and I'm kind of going by the book, following the manual, and she's going by her heart. And it showed a big difference in how we were exposing people and signing them up when we first got started. Because I know it for a fact, out of those 20, I was able to bring on 19. She was able to bring on 1. Now, it's not like she wasn't supporting it. She was doing it. But at the beginning, in fact, I don't know, maybe it was just about beyond 6 weeks. She's like, these Quick Coach videos pretty much say I've been doing this 100% wrong. So, yeah, we could go back and maybe do a little bit better, because now we're rocking and rolling. We're a great team. We're working together, and we piggyback, and we kind of feel like we've got 2 aces in the same household, and we're trying to get there.
That's amazing. That's really, really good. Yeah. And I think what's important that you just brought out there when I'm coaching people all the time too, is saying, like, look at your results. And if your results were, okay, Arleen got 1 and Del got 19, well, we just need to take a quick look here at what's going on, so that you can both be at 19, you know, so, and it's nothing bad. It's just, those are the results, you know, and you just have to take a look at what was working for you. And you saw that 6 weeks in. So that's awesome. Okay. So through the 37 months, are there any, let's shine the spotlight on some of your amazing stars. Who are your great success stories? People you're super proud of that you've brought on, people that you're like, yeah, I brought them in and they just ran with this thing.
Can I take this one?
Yeah, you can.
This one, and the reason I asked to take this is because it's kind of personal to me. Because one of the things, you know, I said earlier, I just love helping people win. It's a big deal. And so one of our very first, okay, we think we've got somebody who's a runner. It's a guy named Malik Cooper. He's currently a senior rep. He's so close to director, but he is absolutely, I don't think there's a single leader in all the world ventures on the planet who wouldn't love to have a guy like this. He shows a minimum of one person a day. Usually it's 2 or 3, sometimes it's 4 to 10. And he's very, very consistent. Now, when we first signed him up, he didn't get started that exact night. In fact, I didn't think he was going to start up. He was a friend of my daughter's from high school. He was ready to go, but on our way upstairs to get his wallet, we saw his dad. And his dad said, well, and so he has to have a private moment with his dad. He didn't get started that night. And I didn't think he was going to ever get started. He signed up a week later. It took him 3 months to get his very first person. He hit senior rep in 8 months. And he is now, I mean, he's rocking and rolling with this. He's got 170 people on his team, and he's killing it. Another one is my sister. She was the very first residual income earner in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We went up there and helped her. And when she was joining, I said, sis, no matter what you got to do, if you've got to be late on your house payment, get involved here, because this could be an appreciating asset that far and away gives you more than anything you've ever done. And she had the faith. She came on board. We went up there. We were able to get her to senior rep. Now, she had already about 10 people on her team when we got there, but we got her to senior rep in 8 days. And she was the very first residual income earner. We wound up getting 2 while we were there. We helped 2 people. And then we wound up getting probably the biggest deal was Ron Wilson out of nowhere, Georgia, Warner Robins, Middle Georgia. Ron Wilson, 90 people in 2 weeks, 115 in 3 weeks. He is a basketball coach. He's a retired school teacher. He was just retiring, he and his wife. And he just decided, okay, I'm going to invite a bunch of people to Panera Bread. We're going to see people every hour on the hour. April and I went down there, and man, gold mine. And then who am I missing, Dave?
Well, I just also wanted to celebrate one of our new and up-and-coming stars, Alfreda Smithson. She actually joined about 2 months ago, and she is that rep that you want to see in the beginning stages, the one who gets it, is fired up, who wants it, who checks in daily, who got her wings. And then she came to the RTE. It's her first event. She did everything she could to get in that car, signed up somebody, and brought them with her. So you want those kind of people there in the beginning, trying to get it right from the start. So we're real proud of her too.
We've got 2 more senior reps. I think we have 6 senior reps on our team. 3 of them really close to director. And so those are the guys that have kind of stuck with it no matter what.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm thinking we need to fly you out to San Diego to work with my team, because it sounds like whenever you show up somewhere, magic happens. So I'm just going to put that out there. Let's see what we can do. So tell me, the first step that you give to all of your new team members now, what is that first step you tell them?
The first thing that we try and do is get their first person. Scoring 24 is a big deal. And I have become kind of pushy about it. Who can we call tonight? Now, one of the problems I think we have in Atlanta and probably most major cities is, well, it takes about 40, 45 minutes to get anywhere in Atlanta. It doesn't matter where you're going. And so if you have a travel party at 7 o'clock at night, If the travel party lasts a little bit better than an hour, well, you're talking about maybe calling somebody. And after you get people actually signed up, maybe it's 9, maybe after 9. And it's not, since we're in the South, it's not really socially acceptable to be calling people too late, because it is the South. It's not like New York or Miami or even Detroit. You know, I know they have travel parties at the barbershop at 2 a.m. in New York. But if you knocked on somebody's door at 10:30 p.m. here, well, on Gertrude is coming to get you. So we can't have that happen. But here, we try and get them to go ahead and make their first call, and let's see if I can help them show their first person and sign their first person. And beyond that, we want 2 things to happen. Mm-hmm. Let's schedule your physical launch party, and let's have a virtual launch party, a Zoom call. Let's get those 2 things happening, because we're trying to build through. We've learned how to do this, but it's not the easiest. And I'm certain, you know, anyone listening, it's not the easiest. But at the same time, you've got to be a little red about that, and we push.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, and it's not easy, but since when is anything easy really worth it or satisfying? You know, so yeah, I hear you. Okay, so over the years, is there favorite hack or trick or something that is so uniquely Del and Arleen that you've sort of developed and that you're really good at?
Well, I think something that we've started doing that seems to be succeeding for us is when we get you started, we don't want to bombard a new rep. You don't, you know, just paralysis analysis, it will set in. So what we do is we prepared something called our Fast Start 8 Steps. And it's a text that we send to every new rep. And there's a text stream of 7 steps that we send to every new customer, because you can't talk to both of them the same. What that does, it gives them things to do that they can get done on their own that will help them in whatever aspect of the business or the membership that they're in. And with that, you know, we've just seen some people actually take off and know where to go and what to do, because all the resources are right there in the one text message. So that's been something that really works for us well.
And for me, the 5 laws. We've got 2 things that I try and institute. One is really simple, because at the end of the day, you got to get going in order to get started. And so, you know, the phone can weigh 50 pounds if you're thinking about dialing your first person. So, and I can't remember the woman's name that I learned this from, but it's a countdown. And so if I decide, okay, I'm going to call Arleen because I think Arleen would blow this away and she really could use a vacation, I think this would be a blessing to her. Then just decide, you know what, I'm going to call her in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then just go, no matter what. And that's one of the things that I talk about for people who don't have a lot of time. Just go ahead and do it and spend 5 minutes doing that type of thing, just 5 minutes. And the other thing, quite honestly, is I talk about a story about chopping down a tree. You know, if you go out and grab an axe and you swing at the tree 5 times, over time, you're going to chop down that tree. The whole thing is being consistent, because motivation is very temporary. It'll get you going, but consistently will keep you growing. And you want to make sure you're consistent with this. It's a big deal. And, you know, at the end of the day, in order to be successful here in World Ventures, I tell everybody, you've got to have a system. So don't go at this and just realize and think to yourself, okay, I'm going to go ahead and get this done. No, develop a battle plan, give a strategy. In the Marine Corps, we've got a saying, a good plan today is better than a perfect plan tomorrow. But you've got to have a plan. And so write down what you want to do. Okay, tomorrow I want to, at 7 o'clock, actually expose at least 2 people. I'm not going to bed before someone sees that video. And, you know, one of the things I try and encourage anybody who's on my team, anytime they have an exposure, even if we're not involved and we try to be each time, text us when you do something that's related to the business so that we can say, hey, David, great doggone job. Because we have this phrase that, and we say, celebrate the activity. Hashtag celebrate the activity, because that'll get you where you want to go.
So important. I love it. And Arleen, I know you have a very specific resource, also a way to track your activity and successes. Do you want to share that with us?
Oh yeah. Sometimes you're in a position where you're lulling or you're not seeing success and you need something that drives you and gets you back, engaged. So what I have is I came up with this, and you probably can't see it well, but it's basically my daily commitments. I track monthly some things that I want to do that kind of I can celebrate myself for some things I did do and kind of pat myself on the back for the things I did great, but also push myself in the areas I'm failing. And I put things like my goals, my ultimate goals are always in here. But I do things like, did you set any appointments? Did you read your Bible? Did you call? We have something that I want to call 10 people before 10 a.m. Did you make it today? And what this does is I just put the dates on each day that I actually accomplish it. And after a while, I can see those activities I'm succeeding at because that line's longer. And I can see where I'm falling short because there's nothing on that line. So then I just spend the rest of the week trying to do the things that I haven't been doing that I said I was committed to do. So that really helps me stay on track.
I love that. And basically what you're doing is you're building integrity, being of your word with what you say you're going to do. And you're doing it in a visual way and you can see it. There's no, I mean, you can trick yourself and say, oh no, well, I'm not successful because, or you can just look at the data and say, well, I need to do more of this or less of that or balance this out. I love that. It's so, so useful. All right, so we're approaching the end here. What is your moving forward, your vision with World Ventures for you and your team? What's that vision that you have?
You want to take that?
You take it.
Well, of course, the goal is always international marketing director, but we want to bring people along with us. One of the things that we've found out is you can't save everybody. And I wound up listening to an audio, and I think I'm guilty of this. Some people pick up Messiah complex, and people who are yellows often have this because I say it all the time. God makes all of us strong for a while so we can help other people. And at this point in my life, I feel particularly strong. I mean, physically, mentally, spiritually, financially. And you want to help people who need this like maybe their next breath of air. When? But you can't always. But our goal is to bring as many people as have the drive, as have the dream as possible. We want to hit not just international marketing director, but we want to be double and triple, and we'd like to do it in a faster time frame because, quite honestly, we have so many more resources that some of the founding members ever had. And so it seems like we should be running faster. Well, from time to time, I've realized maybe we had this goal of never working anymore. Well, we're always going to have to till the soil. The Bible says that we're going to work, but we can work a lot less and work a lot smarter. And our job is actually maybe we're on the beach and getting paid for being on the ocean. And that's a wonderful thing. But I'd like to be able to do that in such a way that I've got a system that says, okay, I'm going to make this many contacts per day, because the truth of the matter is you want to wind up setting up something. And I love this right here. You want to be consistent in such a way because this is a very predictable business. It's not necessarily guaranteed, but it's predictable, because the truth of the matter is if you are doing a certain set of tasks every day, you're going to hit benchmarks. It's just about being consistent. And we want to grow this so that we've got people saying, hey, you've got people who are living debt-free, financially free in Georgia and in Philadelphia and in the Philippines, and et cetera, et cetera. And it's allowed us to have an even bigger impact on humanity itself. And I know that sounds idealistic and outside of the realm of what people think is reasonable, but we want to have those medical clinics that long outlast Dell and Arleen, and this can help fund it. And so we're fighting for more than just ourselves. I want to make sure that my son and my daughter have something that's going to be here no matter what. You know, I think Michael Jackson made the joke a few events ago. He wants to have his picture on the mantle, and the great 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 uncle Michael, grandfather Michael Jackson made this all up for. I want that for Dell and Arleen. You know, I want a picture of us all booed up together, and they say, "Wow, those guys really made an impact, and we're still around through what we've been able to do."
I love it. Beautiful. So before I ask you for a final thought, thank you so much for coming on. I cannot wait to hang out with you on a dream trip or something, or we're going to get you out here to like help our team out too. Because I think you really are, you do have a light in you. I recognize that, I acknowledge it, and I celebrate it. And I'm so glad that you agreed to come on the show today. For those of you listening, remember to subscribe to never miss an episode, unprecedentedtv.com. Go do it now. What are you waiting for? All right, Del and Arleen, so what is a final thought you want to leave for someone who's just starting out and maybe they're on the fence or they're not sure what to do next? What's just a final little word that you want to leave with those people?
My word for them is everybody wants to vacation. If you say Mickey and Minnie, everybody wants to go. If you say Dubai, every adult wants to go. Let's start positioning ourselves to start chasing our dreams. Go back to those childlike times where you said, I'm going to be an astronaut when I grew up, and nothing actually daunted that until you became an adult and everybody else kind of stomped on your dreams. So what I say is dream big, allow yourself to just have more fun in life. And when you're doing that, it's going to keep you younger, healthier, and a beacon of light to others. And you know, that's a big deal to try and be better than you are through joy and happiness. And so I say dream.
And for me, live with abandon. If you can kind of conceive it up here, you can achieve it out here. And it's true. If you listen to all of these wise men who have been successful their entire lives, and now they have written it down in a book. And since we live in the year 2018, the information age, you got things like YouTube and SoundCloud. And now you don't even necessarily have to read the book that they wrote, but you can listen to an audio of the book that they wrote. And so when you listen to these men of remarkable wisdom, they all say without fail that as a man thinketh, so is he. And so believe you can get this done. It's absolutely possible. There are plenty of people leading lives that are what most people would only dream of, but it's impressive, but it isn't mysteriously impressive. They did this. You've got people like Troy Brown, who's a 4-time IMD. You don't hit IMD by luck, but you certainly don't hit it 4 times. And you've got multiple people inside of the company. Peso, Matt Morris, Byron Shaw. These guys are double IMDs. You've got the highest paid person in the entire club who's a single IMD, Jefferson Santos. And these people all have great hearts, and they'll teach you how to get this done. That's the wonderful thing about World Ventures and Dream Trips. Reach out to your upline. We've been blessed enough. I mean, Jefferson Santos has been instrumental in our ability to actually reach where we are and stay on the line, because all of us hit that wall where our feelings get hurt because our friends told us no, and we were, man, ride or die. It's okay. There's 7 billion fish in the sea here on this planet. Go show the next person, because there are more people just like you out there. There are more people that think just like you, and we can all win with this. That's what I tell them.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that. I feel the same way about this. It's like, that's okay. I don't need everybody. I just need 100% of the people who get it. And there are a lot of them out there, you know. But if I don't tell anyone and I'm the world's best kept secret, it's never going to happen. So now I'm just audacious, and I go out there and I share it and I share it. And what I learned at my RTE this weekend was just remind yourself, I'm blessing them. I'm blessing them. I'm blessing them. And I love that, because we're not selling a product here. We're blessing people with opportunity. We're blessing people with freedom, travel, dreams. It's just a no-brainer. thank you so, so much for sharing so openly, and just giving us like the real specifics about how you've gone through these last 37 months. Congratulations. You're inspiring a lot of people. You're definitely inspiring me to build my business, my dream life. I know I've learned a lot, and I know a lot of others will benefit also when they listen in on this episode. And for all the listeners, thank you so much for listening and watching. I'm David Di Giorgio. See you on the next episode of Unprecedented.
David, before you
Please.
go,
Yes.
I'd just say this. We want to thank you for providing this type of platform for those who may not believe in themselves. This is very special, and we wish you every bit of success. You're absolutely going to be one of the guys walking the stage, getting the $1 million ring. But thank you for reaching out, and thank you for providing this for so many people who need it that don't even know they need it today. Because all of the episodes that you're actually recording are going to be seen for years to come. And this is the type of legacy that makes the world a better place. Thank you.
Man, thank you. I honor you both. Thank you so, so much. All right. We'll see you on the next episode of Unprecedented Destination Success.